How do you build a brand as a real estate agent that actually makes you money? What is going on, guys? My name is Chris Elliott with the Elliott Real Estate Team. In this video today, what I want to share with you is eight tips on how to build a profitable real estate brand, real estate agent brand as a newer agent in the business. So if that is you, stay tuned to this video. All right, so let's go through it. So the first and foremost thing we're going to do is we're going to write down a list of our top 200 people that we know, right? This is our sphere of influence list. This is people that already know, like, trust us, or at least aware of us. And we're going to go ahead and document those people on a list. We are going to write down their name, their phone number, their email, their address. If you don't have all that information, write down what you do have, and then try to figure out the rest of the information, right? So we're going to go ahead and make this list. And you're like, Chris, this isn't talking about a brand. Stick with me, right? So we're going to write down our list of our top 200 sphere of influence. From there, we are going to connect our Instagram and our Facebook so that when we post on Instagram, it carries over to Facebook, or if you're posting to Facebook, it carries over to Instagram, right? If you don't know how to do that, Google it. I promise you the Google will tell you how to do it, or ChatGPT or Bing or whatever you're using to figure out information, right? So we're going to go and connect those two. I'm also going to recommend that you not create a business page separate than your personal page on either Facebook or Instagram. And if you're somebody that says like, well, I don't want my business stuff on my personal, blah, 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 have fun not making a lot of money, right? People don't want to follow your business page, I promise you. They only want to follow your personal page, if that. So I would recommend just keeping it all in one page. What you're also going to find is that mixing personal and business is a more effective strategy than just all personal, all business. But I'm jumping ahead. All right, so we're going to connect our personal Facebook to our personal Instagram page, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we are going to friend request, follow, whatever, depending on the platform, all those 200 people, right? We're going to make sure that we are connected with those top 200 people on social. Instagram, Facebook specifically, I found to be the most effective platforms, right? So I want to connect with all those people. If I'm connected with them on Instagram, I want to make sure I'm jumping over and connecting them with them on Facebook as well, assuming they're on, both. If they're on Facebook, I'm going to make sure I'm also connected with them on Instagram. So that way, because now I've connected my two accounts, no matter where I post, they are going to see it. Some people's jam is Facebook, some people's jam is Instagram. And if you're a young blood and you're like, well, Facebook's for old people, you would be accurate. I would also say that most of the homes, which is the product that we're looking to sell, are owned by older folks that are like, Facebook is their jam, right? So I want to fish where the fish are. And then from there, I'm just going to simply document my day via stories. Via stories and posts, I'm going to document my day. So I'm not going out and creating this elaborate, branding content strategy. I'm simply documenting my day, both personal and business, as I go on my journey of building my real estate business, right? This is not hard stuff. This is super simple. And if you're like, Chris, I've heard this before, like, this isn't the fancy stuff I was hoping to get from this video, you're right. But I would ask you, how well are you actually executing on the basics, right? I heard there's a really good speaker, Phil Jones, that talks about, to be excellent in anything, you've got to do the basics at a high level consistently. So I would challenge you of like, how well are we doing the basics at a high level consistently? And if we're not doing those three things, then like, let's not move on to the advanced stuff until we get the basic stuff, right? So I'm just going to start documenting my day, stories, posts. I'm going to let people know what I'm doing. I'm going to take them on the journey. To the general public, the real estate agent lifestyle is interesting. It's unique. To us, it may just seem like everyday stuff, but to them, it's exciting. It's more, fascinating than their day job where they're sitting at a desk doing the same thing over and over, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to document that. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to implement what we call our 10-5-2 strategy, where every single day I'm going to go into that list of 200 people. I'm going to scroll my social feeds. I'm going to like 10 posts from my peeps. I'm going to comment on 5 of their posts or stories, whatever it is. And then I'm going to send 2 direct messages, right? Which is where I'm basically going to initiate a conversation. This does not need to be a real estate conversation. I'm just trying to get into a conversation. So if somebody posts that they went to the, little animal farm with their kid and they did goat yoga, I'm going to say, hey, how was it? Did you guys get peed on, right, by the goats? Um, yeah, so I'm going to initiate conversations with these folks because if I take an interest in them, most people, if they aren't narcissists, are going to then take an interest in you. Hey, how are you doing? How's real estate going? And now I've opened the door for a real estate conversation, right? Or if somebody is liking, hearting, commenting on your post, you can then comment back to them. And I'm basically just engaging my sphere of influence on social. Not only does this keep me top of mind with them, but this is also training the algorithm that, hey, we're somebody that has a deeper connection than just, we followed each other at one point. So that way, not only am I going to see more of their stuff, but they're going to see more of my stuff on their social feed because we're now connected. These algorithms can see that we now have two-way interactions, right? So they're going to show more of our stuff to them. So that is the basics, right? We're going to do that before we get into the advanced stuff. And you're like, hey, this isn't sexy. Once again, yes, it's not sexy, but it's the stuff that actually produces results, which is sexy. So your highest likelihood of a transaction is with people that already know, like, and trust you, i.e. your sphere of influence. So we want to start there. We want to start engaging those folks. We want to show up to those folks and build our brand within our own sphere of influence before we go start chasing strangers. Yes, there's like a greater, larger eventual opportunity with the people that you don't know, but we want to start with the people that you do know because that's the low-hanging fruit, right? And until we're optimizing that, like, we don't need to worry about the advanced stuff. But I'll give you some of the advanced stuff just since we're talking about it, right? So once I'm doing the basics at a high level consistently, then I can jump into, okay, how can I start bringing strangers into my world? How can I start bringing new people into my world? And this is where you get into Reels and also YouTube. I'm more of a fan of YouTube, but there's a lot of folks doing very well with Reels on social. With Reels, we're going to be looking at doing neighborhood tours, new construction tours, property tours, talking head content where you're giving out, tips, tricks, things you've learned. You're giving market updates via Reels. Pretty self-explanatory. You can basically do the same on YouTube, neighborhood tours, property tours, talking head content, market updates. If you need information as to where to talk about the market, KCM, Keeping Current Matters, is a great resource. I think their subscription is 30, 40 bucks a month. It's not crazy, but they will give you the content to be able to talk about. There are droves and droves of content that they put out that you can repurpose. And basically, you read an article or you watch a video and then you talk about on your social. You be the one, the mouthpiece to deliver that to not only your people, but to strangers. And now you are a knowledge broker. You are the source of content. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that gave you something to go out and execute. I wanted to keep that super tactical. Once again, if we're not doing the basics, don't jump over to the advanced stuff, right? Do the basics at a high level first, get that producing for you, get that going, never stop, and then you can jump to the fancy stuff. Hope that made sense. Hope you have a good rest of your week.